Well, the Harris-Walz campaign is off and running. They have two stops in battleground states today following their first appearance as running mates last night. Vice President Kamala Harris formally introduced Minnesota Governor Tim Walz as her pick for vice president in front of thousands of supporters in Philadelphia. Walz got a warm welcome from voters in the Keystone State. The Harris campaign hopes that his past success with moderate voters will help them win. Walz says he is ready for the challenge.
So we got 91 days. My God, that's easy. We'll sleep when we're dead. Over those next 91 days and every day in the White House, I'll have Vice President Harris's back every single day. And we'll have yours.
Vice President Harris and Governor Tim Walz will be in Eau Claire, Wisconsin this afternoon before holding an event in Detroit later tonight. The two stops are part of a longer multi-day tour, as you can see, through several key states. And CBS News senior White House and political correspondent Ed O'Keefe is there in Eau Claire, Wisconsin, covering the Harris-Walz campaign for us. So let's start off just with your sense of how Walz's pick is being received after last night's introduction.
Well, Lana, if money's any indication, it's going over pretty well. They raised about $20 million by dinner time last night. We're expected to learn they've raised tens of millions more overnight into today. At some point later today, the campaign will likely tell us that. And if the crowd trickling in here with still about 2 hours to go is any indication, there is big interest in seeing the governor from the neighboring state make this stop here today with the vice president. Overnight, Democrats pretty elated with the choice, seeing Walz as someone who sort of bridges the divide between moderates and progressives in the party, someone who began with a more moderate record and has embraced a more progressive one as he became governor and had a supermajority legislature in his state. We also learned overnight of how the vetting and the conversations with him went in the days before the selection, signaling he did that this is somebody who's just here to help, not necessarily interested in the top job himself, and fully aware of the fact that he comes to this with not quite as much polish or training as perhaps someone like Vice President Harris or other bigger state governors. So we'll see how their first full day of campaigning goes. It'll start here in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. Western Wisconsin is a part of this state, a battleground that has been trending Republican, so they want to sort of keep it in their pocket if they can. And again, having the governor from the neighboring state perhaps helps. After here, they'll go to Detroit tonight for a rally there. They may add a stop tomorrow before continuing on a battleground state tour that's been abbreviated and changed up a bit because of the storms in the south. The other thing to keep in mind in this state, CBS News poll out over the weekend suggested that Trump is up by 1 point on Harris, which essentially means this thing is about as tick-tock tight as it can be. And it's part of why they want to have these kinds of events. And the other thing we should point out, Lana, as you can see, we're outdoors. So this is the first big political event held in on either side since the assassination attempt on the former president. And that has led to perhaps a little more security than we've seen before, although the security posture for an event with the sitting vice president is always going to be a little different than it is for a former president. But we've seen lines of people going through security. We went through at least 2 bag checks to get in here.
Bigger consideration than when we started this campaign, Ed. I'm hoping you can tell us, so some of the advantages of the Walz pick is his bridge to moderate voters. What are some of the vulnerabilities that he may have?
Well, we've seen in the last 18 hours or so, since Republicans really started speaking out, a focus on a few things. One, when he is governor of Minnesota, but about 2 years in 2020, after George Floyd was killed in Minneapolis, there had been requests for the state to deploy National Guard. There's an argument made by critics, especially Republican critics in the state, that he didn't move fast enough to deploy those requests, in part because he was waiting to see what the city wanted specifically. But by delaying it, there was more violence, there was more property destruction, and Republicans ultimately in the state wrote a report that suggested the governor didn't move fast enough. He called it a partisan report, but took some of those ideas under advisement. So that's one thing. The other is one that we've heard J.D. Vance mention today that was used against Tim Walz when he first ran for Congress in 2006 and when he ran for governor in 2018, and that is while he had a 24-year career as an Army National Guardsman, his service ended in 2005 at the height of the Iraq War and right before he began running for Congress. So there's been a suggestion from Republicans that perhaps he cut and run. There will be other things seized on in his gubernatorial or legislative record, but for now, that's at least where Republicans are starting, and we'll see how Walz and the Harris campaign respond.
Interesting. All right, Ed O'Keefe, thank you.